Welcome to Human Potential at Work, the show where we explore social impact, inclusion, and empowerment of everyone, including persons with disabilities. Get ready to be inspired, hear success stories, and learn tips and principles for bringing out the best in everyone.
Hello, everyone. This is Debra, and this is Human Potential at Work. I'm excited. I'm always excited, but I'm very excited about my guest today. He is such an amazing man, and he's doing a lot of things. I think you're going to really enjoy learning more about him. My guest today, his name is Garrison Redd, and I'm going to turn the mic over to him and have him introduce himself. But welcome so much to the program, Garrison.
Thank you for inviting me to this program. That's an amazing opportunity to get to speak with you. And let me give them a little bit about myself. My name is Garrison Redd, like Debra just said. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I'm currently 31 years old. I'm a T12 paraplegic, which I don't consider myself disabled. I consider myself able with limitations. And the reason being is because I'm a power lifter. I'm a model. I'm also a dancer. I founded my own organization, and I'm an equal rights advocate. So I'm like a Renaissance man. I'm not really disabled in any way.
No, it sounds like you're an amazing person that has abilities and maybe some disabilities, like the rest of us.
Oh, like yeah, that's everyone right. In this world.
Like everybody else. Yes. And you also are involved in yoga, and you're doing some really, really cool stuff. So tell us a little bit about your organization.
All right. So I founded my organization called the Garrison Redd Project because I noticed that like children with disabilities didn't really have a central figure to like look up to, or someone they could tell their parents, like, I want to be like this person when I grow up. And, basketball players aspire to be Michael Jordan, or singers might aspire to be whoever, Mariah Carey, whoever. So I said, you know what? Let me go out into the world and just explain to people the importance of inclusion. And that's when I decided to host like events such as adaptive climbing, adaptive yoga, 5K races and things of that nature. But the twist was, not only did I want to have individuals that have disabilities, I wanted to have individuals that was able-bodied as well, so they could pretty much learn from each other and learn about the abilities that a person with disabilities have. So that's pretty much my vision and my mission for the reason why I started the Garrison.
So it sounds to me like you're trying to humanize this conversation.
Yes, exactly.
Because we are all part of the human race. So that's very exciting. Now, I can tell you're in really good shape. Yeah. I see the guns. That's something I'm working. Yeah, that's not going to happen anytime soon. But I'm a big fan of yoga. I'm a big fan of. I'm a Zumba girl. I love dancing. I love dancing.
Nice.
But at the same time, it's very important as we get older, also, to make sure we're staying in shape. So we obviously all can learn a lot from you. So what brought you to this path? How'd you get here?
See, my path it's definitely an amazing story due to the fact that when I was 17 years old, I was outside on an ordinary summer night across the street from my house, and a guy came up and just started shooting at me and the other individuals I was with. And I was struck in my back, the T12 section, which burnt the nerve surrounding my spinal cord, which left me paralyzed and having to depend on a wheelchair. However, my mom never let me get like depressed or anything. She just said, this is an obstacle. Everybody has adversities, and this is just something you have to get over. It's going to make you a stronger person. Mm-hmm. So that changed kind of my perspective of my injury, as far as I stopped thinking like the glass was half empty. I started thinking the glass was half full. So it gave me the ambition to be more independent. And it took me to the point where like I'm independent like anyone else. Like I could do everything on my own. But then I thought about other individuals who have more severe injuries and things of that nature. And I said, what if this world, because I noticed that the world wasn't really fair. Like you would go to a public institution like a school, but it would have like a steep hill. And it's like, why didn't you design this particular school, this particular entity for everybody to have ease of accessing? So that's kind of what got me to where I'm at right now. I had a vision. And then I was working at the IRS as well. And one day I said, I'm just way too cool for this. I have qualities that I need to. And from that epiphany, it took me so many places in a short period of time.
Wow, that's an amazing story. And gun violence it's just such a scary topic these days. It's
Yeah, it could be anywhere. And then there's these, so, you don't
and
want
then
to live in fear, but unfortunately, that's something that's you got to think about when you leave your house each day. Like,
I agree, and I think also a lot of people like me, who's really into everybody being included, and we all have abilities, and we all should be empowered. I have been really, really discouraged to really truly understand through over the last few years how unequal the world is. And I knew it was unequal, but I think I thought it was better than it actually really is. And I remember I've said this on air before, but there was something trending on Twitter, and I saw it and I thought, don't you dare go in there on that. But it was white privilege was trending. And so I went in and I looked what was being said, and it was just so many stupid things were being said. But I thought, no, I think I got to go in. And so I went in and I said, well, what I'm going to do with my white privilege is I'm throwing the doors open behind me and saying, come on in, come on in, come on in, because
yeah,
the world works better when we're all included.
exactly. And that's what I've been like preaching from the time I had like that major epiphany, because I was just observing for the first few years of my injury. My whole thing was to become as independent as possible
Mm-hmm.
and to attain my bachelor's degree. That's all I wanted at that time. And along the way, people started reaching out to me, and it was like, oh, you're so outgoing, and how did you become that way? And I basically said, like, I had pretty good qualities prior to my injury, because my parents was very like, they always preached hard work ethic, and things of that nature, which can carry you a long way. So I used to tell people, like, you have to keep going with your life, so you can't let anything stop you. So that's why, I continue to try to do as much as I can, because it can inspire someone else and make them feel like there's hope.
I agree. And I also say, when I'm talking about privilege, we're all privileged to, for example, to have grown up in a developed country, right?
Exactly.
Doesn't mean we're perfect, because we sure are not perfect, but
Yeah.
we can pick ourselves up and say, and we're all going to have obstacles in contrast, and bad things happen to us in our life. It seems like that's part of why we are walking this journey. We all, there are things that happen to all of us.
Yes,
But do you
exactly.
just roll over and give up? Right. Do you give up? And you're right, we need more role models that look like you. We need
Exactly.
more role models.
Yeah, and
We
that was my thing. Like, I didn't when I was initially injured, there was no one I could turn to, like, and say, this person right here is something I could aspire to be, even though I'm faced with the circumstances, I have to use a wheelchair. So when I was thinking, and I probably expressed it to like my mom and my cousin, and they was like, so you be that person. Like, what's stopping you from being that person? And I
we
said,
need it.
right. Yeah.
So I'm curious, tell me about your modeling a little bit.
Okay, so with modeling, the way I got into that actually is funny, because I didn't see my godfather in quite some time, and I ran into him after 10 years, and he had started a clothing line. And
Ooh.
yeah, the first thing he said is, you could represent my brand. And I'm like, seriously? And mind you, we're in the airport on the TSA getting check line, and I'm like, like, what you mean I could represent your brand? I never modeled before. He's like, no, seriously. Like, I think people would see you, you're a good looking person, you're in shape, and
Yep.
I think you could really, change the dynamics of how people can view individuals with disabilities if they actually see someone that's modeling and stuff like that. And so I got into it, and from there I started getting more exposure. And then a friend of mine was like, he started a clothing line, and he wanted to design a wheelchair to match one of his outfits and have me do a photo shoot.
That's so
Yeah.
cool.
And then from that, it kind of, yeah, and it kind of went like viral on social media a little bit. So it got a lot of views and a lot of likes and things of that engagement. And I noticed like a lot of kids and like younger individuals that had some type of disability or something of that nature started reaching out to me. And there's other models that use wheelchairs, but I guess it's it's not really like out there. So people was like, how did you get involved? Or that inspired me to like pursue the same thing. I want to be a model. And then I started doing runway shows with this gentleman, Ricky Davey. He's like the director of Fashion Week Brooklyn. And he like made one of his feature models. So like every show he hosts, he invites me to roll the runway. And then I'm a part of Runway of Dreams, which
I was going to ask you if you
I'm
were
a
with
part of
Mindy.
that too now. Yeah.
So are you going to be in the show that's coming
Yes,
up?
I will be in the show. I will.
Yes, my daughter was in the show last year, and unfortunately, and I'm on the board of directors of Mindy Shire's Runway of Dreams.
Me and Mindy is very
Love
close.
her work.
Yeah.
Oh, I love her work. I know. I think she connected us.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
I love, and Mindy's been on the show. I love, love, love Mindy. But my daughter, unfortunately, won't be there this year because she had some real serious health problems this year.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Praise God, she's much better, but she's still healing. So she hasn't she her doctor said nope, not yet, almost not yet. So
I know. That's the thing about life. There's always, those little step backs to go 3 steps forward. So
right. Did you model for them last year?
No, actually, I got involved with them a little bit after last year's fashion show.
Okay, cool.
Because I also dance with Heidi Latsky Dance Company. And a lot of the models from Runway of Dreams, some of the models from Runway of Dreams actually dance with me as well. So
yeah, and I love the dancing. I've seen your dancing. It is so. I'm a dancer. I love to dance. I love to dance, and I, whether or not I'm good or not, that's not what it's about for me. It's about feeling this, just feeling the universe, feeling God. I love, love, love dancing, and I love watching people dance too, and I love seeing dancers in wheelchairs.
Yeah.
Because the creativeness, the innovation, and watching the moves and thinking, okay, now, so I would do that this way. It's just fascinating to watch the creativeness, I guess is even a better word, of dancers that are, there's some beautiful dancers in wheelchairs.
Oh, yes.
It's really amazing. And why would you take dance away from anybody? It's like, it makes our spirits come alive.
Yeah. And when I heard about, and joined the company and I had the, opportunity to dance with the company on multiple occasions.
Wow.
It's just something that, like, for instance, anybody could see and they're like, wow, I didn't even know that individuals in wheelchairs can dance. And it's choreographed so in sync with anybody else. So like if it's a able and disabled, inter-able type of dance routine, it's humans together. The moves are just as hard and just as difficult. And I think that if the world sees more dancers in wheelchairs and things of that nature, I think it would be definitely like explode and create more opportunities for other people.
And there's some interesting designs happening with wheelchairs right now. There's some very interesting, innovative designs, including what you said, one of your, when you were saying they match the clothes with a wheelchair. That's fascinating. And I will just say, I always say to our customers, do not take a beautiful person, because by the way, we expect as society our models to be beautiful. That's just something that we expect. Please don't just put a beautiful model in a wheelchair. We know if a person uses a wheelchair or not. We can tell. So please don't do that. Please don't do that. And they're like, oh yeah, good point. And so I think we need more models like you and more advocates, inspirational speakers. I know you work with businesses. Tell us a little bit about what you do to help corporations, because I'm very in that as well.
So I started consulting with businesses, especially like the United Way. I started off with like a lot of nonprofits and just explaining to them, like, for instance, like say if it's a not-for-profit shelter and they have an individual with a disability that comes, and I actually did this with the Boys Girls Club of New York, and an individual comes and they need to live somewhere, but they have a wheelchair. A lot of times the employees didn't know the proper way or the proper stuff to, how to accommodate that particular person. And it was telling me how this particular person couldn't access the second floor where the computers, the library is, and things of that nature. So they was pretty much confined to one floor, one room type of thing. And I try to explain to them that, if you want to incorporate some type of elevator or lift in order to get the individual to the next floor. The bathroom has to be a certain width because it's kind of cumbersome to bring your wheelchair. Or how are you going to get to the bathroom if it can't fit through the door and things like that?
Right.
A lot of people don't think about those things as far as, how is the wheelchair going to get through the door? And stuff. So,
well, you know, and you, as you're saying that, you're making me think of one Runway of Dreams again. I remember being there and once again, I'm now on their board of directors. I'm so impressed with them. Yeah. And I'm sorry that I'm not going to be at the event, but mom first.
Video. I'm sure you'll see.
First. Oh, I will. And we're marketing it and everything. We're one of the sponsors of the event. But if we were, one thing that I thought was so interesting is, in the first place, it's been sold out for weeks.
Yes.
So if you didn't get your ticket, oh well. So it's been sold out for weeks. It's so popular. And but all the moving parts and assuring true access all the way across the board.
Exactly.
It's really, there's a whole lot more moving parts than people realize. And I know one big fashion brand was going to put on their own, and I was nervous for them because I thought, okay, there's a lot of ways you can make mistakes though. So we certainly encourage you to include us, but please make sure that if you're including us, you're including someone like you that can help them, somebody like Runway of Dreams, people that can help them be successful.
Exactly. And I've noticed a lot of that as well. Like, as far as even like on a photo shoot aspect, like I do photo shoots with other brands and stuff like that. And just people don't think like they would invite me to a photo shoot that would have a staircase.
Right. They don't, because it's just not part of their life. It's not that they're trying to exclude you. They haven't thought about it. And then you get there and it's funny. I was talking to a customer yesterday. It's a brand new customer. And I was saying to them, in the United States, it seems often every time that I meet somebody representing a corporation that's helping in this field, they'll start with an apology to me and they'll say, "We're so sorry we haven't done more for this community." And I'll say, "You do not need to apologize to me. Let's celebrate what you have done and let's move you forward. Let's get you to the right people." Because I have a small little firm, strategist and everything else, but there's so many good people out there, which is why I do this show. I want to show who the people are out there that are changing the world. Exactly. And you're one of those people.
Thank you.
Yeah. So it was like you were a slam dunk, of course.
So that's kind of like the gist of, my mission and my vision on how I'm going to see the world. Because I did a TED talk where I told people that one day I'm going to be the mayor of New York City. And the reason why I said that is because I feel like change can happen from the top and go all the way down. So, and if there was just little things like that people could incorporate or be more conscious about, and that's why I also created the organization. So members from different corporations can speak with these individuals that are in this world, in this community, and they can learn from them some of their great abilities. Because even reasonable accommodations, when I worked at the IRS, I didn't necessarily need one. And they assumed I did. They do you need a higher desk? I'm like, honestly, if I could roll under the desk, I could use the standard desk and that's not an issue. And they were shocked. And I'm like, don't be shocked. They're like, it's just me. And there's other individuals that are able to do the same thing. So you don't have to always think that you need to accommodate an individual with disability. It'll be nice for certain areas, but we could work and do anything that anybody else could. Honestly,
we just need a chance.
Exactly, opportunity.
And I'll do a shout out for IRS. I know we all like to be mad at the IRS but we do. I'm very proud to be a taxpayer in the United States. But the IRS is actually a very big employer of individuals with disabilities.
They are.
They're one of the best agencies hiring people with disabilities. They're a huge best practice. And they understand the accommodations, right? But I'm going to say one more thing, that I'm going to let you talk. One thing, well, I think the best thing that you can do when you're working with an individual on accommodations, surprise, ask them what they need.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I agree.
So Yeah, let me know. Yeah, tell us more about the IRS because that's what I've seen on the outside. I've seen a lot of innovation.
Well, IRS, and I hope, hopefully, it goes across the board for all federal jobs. I hope. I'm not sure what goes on, but I did work for the
They're
census.
supposed to. They're supposed to,
Yeah,
but there's only a few agencies that are really
yeah.
major best practices. They're
But
one of them.
census was pretty good. I worked there as well. They was
Yes.
very accommodating. Like as far as I had a position as an enumerator, which required me to go outside and take surveys. However,
Okay.
since they knew that wouldn't be, you know, quite difficult or cumbersome, they actually changed my position to an in-house spot where I just worked at the office processing stuff. So that I liked how they was able to accommodate me in that fashion. But at the IRS, I mean, I was there for 6 years, and I have nothing but great things to say about the IRS. You know, outside of
Right.
the job duties,
We
but
could all complain about them.
yeah. But yeah, it was as far as for like being disabled and being employed with them, they was amazing. They was very, very knowledgeable on what steps,
Mhm.
what things they need to do to make this job the best, and I could use my abilities to the best of it. So I really, and they didn't really like discriminate. Like if there was a position that was up, they, you just put in for it, and that's it. It's not like they
Yeah.
judge you based on your
I
disability.
know. People are so surprised to hear that, and we see a lot of innovation coming from our Department of Homeland Security.
Nice.
And
Yes,
yeah, I know, and I worked with patent and trademark. We've worked with FEMA. It's there. There is progress happening,
it
but
is.
it's not across the board. There's still so much work to do. But
So
I also want to talk to you a little bit because you talked about this right before we came on air. You were mentioning that you support universal design. So I was
yeah.
wondering if you went and explore that a little bit too.
Well, yeah, I love you. I think universal design is the key to making this world a better place. If we, like I always tell people, the wheelchair is not a restriction. Society imposes restrictions on wheelchair users.
Hmm.
So to combat that, if everything was universally designed, then you would see more wheelchair users in public entities and public spaces than ever before. Like initially, once you just universally design everything, you'll see a spike. You'll see more wheelchair users,
Right.
more
Because
crutch.
we can use it.
Exactly, exactly. Like in my case, like I often find there's a lot of steps. I live in New York City, so there's a lot of steps to get into certain like restaurants and social lounges where it's 2019. Young guys, we want to go to social lounges, or young ladies, we want
Right.
to go to social lounges
Right.
like
Right.
everyone else. So, with universal design, it makes it easier for everyone because I think everyone is going to become disabled at some point in life.
They
But
are. And that's not a bad thing either. Even though that statement scares people, the reality is we're human beings. And, my husband has acquired a very serious disability as he's aged,
yeah,
dementia. And, but a lot of, a lot of places don't really welcome people
no,
with
they don't.
disabilities. And we can tell we're not welcomed when there's no way to get in your restaurant
Yeah,
and
exactly.
they're not only losing your business but they're losing all your friends and your parents and they're losing a lot of business doing this, you know.
And even strollers and stuff. Think about strollers, like women that have strollers. It can be quite cumbersome for them to access something on their own if they have a stroller with them. So,
Well,
um,
and that's I agree, and that what's so powerful is when you make something more accessible, it improves it for everyone. uh,
exactly, all across the board.
Everybody benefits.
Yeah, and a lot of times the modification is cost effective. I mean, it's little or nothing that you will actually be doing. So that's why I try to preach that to like everywhere I go. Like if you make this universally designed for me, like as far as like the bathroom, if every bathroom had a rail and was wide enough for a wheelchair user to use, because we don't have to wait on the outside when it's occupied. Just make it all of
Right.
it.
Just make them all
Yeah,
right.
just make
and
them
and
all.
I use the rails and my daughter yeah, it benefits us all.
Yeah.
That's what's so amazing. People often don't realize so much social impact has happened because of designs that have been created by people with disabilities and for people with disabilities that we all benefit from now.
Yes, and also that's another thing that I'm seeing in the fashion industry, through
Yes.
Runway Dreams, how, clothing can be easily modified to
Hmm.
for an independent to gain for a person to gain full independence just by cutting the back of a shirt and adding Velcro to it.
Right.
Now, this person can use this shirt like anyone else, and it's probably cost nothing to make that.
I know it's amazing, and then you have, and it's interesting because as my wonderful husband is walking this journey with dementia, um, he he can't tie his shoes now,
Yeah.
and so I was talking to Zappos, and let's just give a couple of shout outs for the brand Zappos, Tommy, um, Nike, for example, are some of the brands that are at Runway of Dreams, but. I was talking to Zappos about something else, and I was talking to them about my husband, and they sent me all this stuff. They said, "Oh, well, this is good for him, this and this and this," because I mean, my husband's already walking some challenges,
Yeah.
and why make him feel bad that now he can't tie his shoes when we have slip-on loafers that we can.
Yeah,
I mean, Dockers. There's so many options. Give them to us.
that's one of the things that people fail to realize, like as far as clothing really can boost someone's confidence or self-esteem due to the fact that like we already have a visual disability that everybody could see. So at least we should be able to wear nice, clothes, or at least have options to wear the type of clothes we want to wear so that we
Right.
feel good about ourselves. And
Right.
that's what another thing I try to make people aware of when they encounter like me. I try to explain to them, like, as far as, I want to wear nice clothes like everyone else. I don't want to be subjected to wear this item or this
Right.
item. I want to buy from every brand. And so I think the world needs to know more about creating universal design products and adaptive clothing. I feel they go hand in hand.
I agree. I agree. So, what I want to make sure is that the audience knows how to get you. And you're available for corporate speeches, you're available as spokesperson, you're available as model. You
Yep.
can do really cool programs. A corporation wants to show our community that you care about us, you want us include us. You can do an adaptive yoga. There's so many ways that corporations can work with you. So
Exactly.
I want you to tell us a little bit about that, and then also tell us about your website. I know you're on social media. How do people find you? And we'll make sure, I know you're sending me an email with a couple of things. Will you make sure that you send me the link to your TED Talk and any of the stuff, any of the pictures that you want the audience to see? And we'll make sure that we turn the volume up on those too.
Okay, definitely. Yeah. So if anybody, looking to get in contact with me, I have Instagram. My Instagram name is Garrison Redd, and you will see the spelling of it in the bio or the description. Also, as well, on Facebook, Garrison Redd, LinkedIn, Garrison Redd, and YouTube, Garrison Redd. And actually, on YouTube, you can see I do videos where I just showcase different things, such as how individuals with disabilities can work out in the gym, or how they can get dressed, or how we get dressed as a whole. Due to the fact that it gives people just a better understanding,
Right.
and they might say, "Oh wow, if it's that simple for him, then it might be this simple for her," or whatever the case might be.
Knowledge.
It gives them more knowledge, so that way it makes a better conversation. Next time an individual with a disability is at a job interview, they just know that this person can't get dressed the way Garrison get dressed that quickly, so it's no cumbersome to get to work on time. So
Right. And there's all those, misunderstandings
yeah,
about what it means to be a person, you know,
exactly.
that it happens to use a wheelchair to,
So I showcase how I drive, also how I take the wheelchair apart, put it in my vehicle, and things of that nature. So
cool.
YouTube is a great place to, take.
And I didn't know that. So I'm going to go subscribe to your channel right after we hang up.
And also the GarrisonReddProject.org. That's my organization, and that's the website name for my organization. And there we could collaborate on, or partner or volunteer on any type of event. If you would like to participate in an event, I have a subscription section for that as well. So, if you're in the New York area, I'm planning an event for November, probably the week before Thanksgiving. And if anybody's in the area, they can, be sure to stop by. And it'll most likely going to be an adaptive sporting event held in Prospect Park.
And obviously, he's a great speaker. So if you need a speaker for October, which is Disability Employment Month in the United States, I
Yes.
know a great speaker you can select, right, Garrison?
Yep, and he's right here, and my email will be in the description. So, and it's Garrison at the GarrisonRedProject.org. So it's really simple to find me.
And as a reminder, just because I want y'all to find him, his last name is Redd, Redd. So give him two D's. So,
Yep.
but Garrison, thank you for everything you're doing. Thank you for the light. Thank you for the wisdom. Thank you for the knowledge. Thank you for not giving up. And thank you to your family too, especially your
Yeah.
mom and your dad for standing by you and all. You know, life sometimes it shakes us up and says, "Oh no, you're not going to do that. You're going to do this." Okay, cool. Okay, I'll work with that.
And I got a good quote to leave you with.
Okay.
Life is like lemonade. That's the title of my TED Talk as well. So,
Oh, great. Yeah, I haven't watched it yet. Yeah, it is. It is. You just never know. I remember when they gave my husband the diagnosis, I was like, "What? What do you mean?" So it's like, "Oh, you mean life is like this. You never know what lemons you're going to get. So let's make
you
some."
cry for a minute and then just get over it and keep on pushing. And
Yep.
life is beautiful. So you got to take every day, one day at a time, and enjoy it.
I agree. I agree. You have a very wise voice, and that's why I wanted to have you on the show. And I look forward to seeing you continue to change the world. So, Garrison, thanks for being on the program. Once again, his website is Garrison Redd,
It's
GarrisonRedd.
Yeah, it's the Garrison Redd Project.
Excuse me. The Garrison Redd, REDD
Yep.
.org. Anyway, we're going to also, so you don't have to remember what I'm saying, we'll make sure that it's in all of the information that we post out on all over social media and on our website too. So thank you so much, Garrison.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure. It was great.
Yes. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.